Israel's fighting this war on
Yeah.
several fronts. One of those fronts is to the north against Hezbollah, which is in Lebanon, which is also another terrorist faction that is supported by the Islamic Republic of Iran. Just recently, Saturday, Hezbollah has been firing rockets in northern Israel for a while now. Hezbollah rockets flew into an area where a Druze community that lives there. There were families there, kids were there playing soccer, and those Hezbollah missiles that landed on that soccer field killed 12 children. I'm tired of the talking point that says, look at some of these people who aren't white looking who got killed, right? Yes, if you look at these pictures of the Druze community, some are darker, some are brown. The problem is, though, it kind of dehumanizes Jews that do look white, right? Because a human being is a human being. Children are children. And 12 children were slaughtered by Hezbollah, who makes no attempts to avoid civilian casualties, who was purposely targeting civilians, which is why hundreds of thousands of Israelis have had to evacuate in the first place. Hezbollah, like Hamas, they attempt to wipe out every Jew from Israel. They're not fighting the Israeli military. They're not fighting the Israeli government. They are fighting against Jews.
For anybody who may not be familiar with the Druze community, let's take about 2 minutes just to explain who they are, because they aren't a population of Israel that's often spoken about. Now, you saw the picture that was shared, and even the language that Joshua used, he used the word Israeli. These are Israelis. They may not be Jews, but they are people that are part of the Israeli society. Israel is not made up only of Jews. And so when people talk about the fact that it is a racist state, it is this, that, and the other, and it's Jewish supremacy, lie, lie, lie. The Druze make up approximately 2% of the Israeli community, and they are of Arab descent. They are Arab and they are Arab speaking. Yes, it makes no sense, particularly from a moral perspective, when we try to draw the delineation between, they're being attacked because they're white and da-da-da, versus they're being attacked because they're black. Like it's absolute garbage, because an attack is an attack and children are children. But for those people who are all up in arms and protesting when it's like, those poor Palestinian children, and I'm going to speak to that in a moment, the poor Arabs, look what Israel is doing to the Arabs. Where's your voice in relation to the Arabs that were just now slaughtered? Where's your voice in relation to those children? Silence, absolutely nothing, including some of our Christian commentators who are very happy to say, because God is love and because there needs to be peace and because there needs to be righteousness and justice and stop killing the children. Silence. So then the question is, because they live in a different location on the earth, one side of Arab children are more important than the other side? You're a hypocrite. You're an absolute hypocrite. And then also we need to address, Joshua, this attempted moral equivalency where it's like, no. Now the likes of us, because they're calling us out, now you're expressing outrage and concern when there have been children that have been massacred, but you weren't showcasing that level of concern and outrage when Palestinian children were being massacred. To that also, if you follow and if you find any genuine, authentic and real pro-Israel advocate, they would have been calling it out. What we've been doing, however, is not just calling out the fact that these children are dying, we've been calling out Hamas and calling out Iran, who are the cause of the deaths of these children on both sides. What is even more evil when we see the deaths that are happening on the Palestinian side in relation to these children is that these children are various things, but let me speak to two of them. One, being used as human shields. So their parents, Hamas, people that have, including what we have been calling innocent civilians, which actually when you see the polls, which actually when you even hear the language that they are speaking themselves, are Hamas apologists. They then use the children as human shields. And so when these children unfortunately die as a result of Israel defending herself and needing to take out the terrorists, nobody's calling out the root cause of their death. These young children who come from the community of Majd al-Shams, they're in an area where they should just be able to live freely and play freely, which is what they were doing in terms of they were playing soccer. But to Josh's point that you raised, Iran and its proxies aren't interested not only in the non-existence of Jews, but the non-existence of Israel. Like, let's just wipe off the Jewish state off the face of the earth, irrespective of the people that live in there. So if you really are about children, and if you really are about wanting to see justice and righteousness, then you will call out the root.